Sorry, Deputy Kenny, you have to wait a long time there.
Thanks, Cathaoirleach. I'd like to, pay tribute to the Western Track and to their presentation. And I think it's idealistic. I think as somebody who comes originally from the west of Ireland, I would have a certain affinity with your proposals, though, in the harsh realities are that everything has to have a business case to back it up, and that's a problem. There's one or two questions I'd like to ask. In relation to reopening the line between Athenry and Claremorris, maybe Irish Rail could say, what is the condition of the track or of the reservation for the line? Is it still intact? Has there been developments across it in some places, or would there be problems if you were to reopen the line? And the other question is in relation to the Athenry to Limerick and Ennis line at the moment, which I've read somewhere where people travelling from Galway to either Ennis or Limerick, there's bus services, and the bus services will get you there an awful lot faster than going from Galway to Athenry and then down to Ennis and Limerick, and that's one of the disadvantages. There's also, I understand, speed restrictions on the line, which limits the speed that the trains can go, which makes the journey longer as well. The other question is in relation to the freight business, and most of our freight goes to the UK because it's our main business partner, and that goes through the Port of Dublin. And the port tunnel was opened some 7 or 8 years ago to get all this heavy traffic off the city roads from the M50 to the port. And in fact, the heavy goods vehicles are banned from travelling through the city. They must use the port. So that has got, in some ways, has dealt with the traffic situation. The other problem, as I see it, is that some years ago, Dublin Port Company built a new container terminal, and they built it on the South Port. Now the railhead and the rail terminals are the North Port. So I think that kind of gave the death knell to a large extent to the freight. I think that the main competitors for the freight business is the road haulage industry, and I think they are a very strong lobby, and I think they may have had some say in the building of the new container terminal on the South Port. But I think your ideas about heritage travel and that kind of heritage tourism, travelling on these reopened lines, I think is certainly worthy. If you could link it to tourism, I mean, there are parts of Wales, where you can travel on old lines, and they have these, part of a tourism experience of parts of Wales, and perhaps that's maybe a model that could be looked at. But I think the main problem again is going back to what Irish Rail have told us is the funding.
Okay, thanks, Deputy Kenny. Maybe Mr. Cunningham and Mr. Grogan, if you want to maybe take the lead on this one and what has been said. And I'm not sure whether Deputy Ellis and Deputy Colreevy addressed a couple of questions to you as well. So if you want the opportunity now, then I'll come back to Western Track.
Certainly, Chairman. Yes, Deputy Kenny mentioned firstly about the state of the line, Athenry to Claremorris. That, as Frank had alluded to earlier, the status is it's not abandoned, it is an engineer siding, and while it's true that rail traffic has not gone over it in a number of years, it is relatively free from incursions or encroachments, and it is our intention, certainly within a reasonably short space of time, to actually operate a unit over the line so that we in fact protect that. So it is a section of the line where we wouldn't, there'll always be an issue, there'll always be a problem, but we wouldn't envisage many or any of any great severity. I think Deputy Ellis raised something similar in terms of the questions that he raised. In terms of the time of the route, particularly Galway down to Limerick, that is an issue and it is a problem for us, and it is something comparative to bus times. It's really saying there was a motorway built that now conveys buses at a fast rate. At the time of the opening of the Phase 1 of the Western Rail Corridor, there was a limited amount of funding available, and with regard to the speed restrictions, initially there was a a lot of level crossings on the line, and each level crossing, with regard to the parameters that we have to satisfy the Railway Safety Commission on for health and safety reasons, has brought a lot of speed restrictions onto that line. And again, while we are trying to work on those and to lower them, it will take time, and again, like everything, it all takes money. Deputy Ellis and Deputy Kulrevi raised a couple of issues about perhaps an imbalance in our position with regard to funding, and if I may just say, we are extremely supportive of anything that will utilise the railway network more. We're extremely supportive of anything that will expand it more, because we do believe there are extremely good national benefits of a socio-economic nature. Our restriction purely is that we are mandated as a company by the Minister to improve our financial position as a business. And there are two different things. One is very much the larger picture, and one is the company picture. The company picture just means that we don't have the capital to invest in these. But rest assured, we are extremely keen to work with and to support initiatives in the national interest, which will provide environmental benefits, balanced regional developments. There's a multiplicity that our colleagues from Western Track have highlighted this morning that we are very keen to support.